Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The task of the day actually, it's a continuous work on what we saw in earlier classes. Mainly what we're going to see today is the practice side of the theory, which is the manipulation of data. We are going to see data source, and we are going to bind the sources, the values, into a control list of controls in front and the APIs. So let's get started. The first task is asking us to implement the database, given the name restaurant services. We are going to use the Visual Studio as it is asking us to do. So let's do that. I'm going to start the project. So it's a web application. I'm going to design something actually within the Visual Studio. Great. Okay, just still loading. Okay, I'm going to start a new web application, find new website. Based on our reference, C#. It's an empty one. Let me use this one. ASP.NET empty website. No modification of the path. So we have 3 tasks actually to do in this guide today. And the first one is to generate this database, and then after we're going to use the resources for building up the rest. But for now, let's solve this task. 3 entities we have: users, customer, and cook. User, customer, cook. First of all, the database name is restaurant service. Restaurant. Right click. I did that. I'm gonna copy. I'm not asking for corrections. So I'm gonna create an object. Add new item. The item is a database. Yes, SQL Server database. The name here. I'm going to change the word database to restaurant services.mdf. I did not change the extension. Just that. He's going to generate a folder for me directly for the database. Just I'm going to say yes. Confirm that. A folder would come with the database. In a second. Failed to generate user instance on SQL Server due to failure in starting the process for user instance. I'm going to say now for yes for now. So seems to be the problem is the service. I'll check. I'm going to do the step for you to make it clear for you. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it slowly. Just wait for a second. No, this one will close. So I'm going to do the step. New database. Add. Create folder. Yes. The folder has been created. But let's wait for the database for a second. Okay, it has been created, seems to be. Because if I would have that message again for the second time, I would suspect the services, and the SQL service is not running. I would have went for the activation of that service, starting up that service. But since it has been generated, so khalas. That's all. We keep going on. This is the database. It's not responding yet. Yes, now it's okay. Server Explorer. This is the database that if I refresh, the X, yes, has been disappeared. Now we have a connection. So the database is on. Okay, great. So let's generate our entities. The first one, let's start with the user. ID, username, password hash, salt, fisherman, first name. Let's do. So it's an entity. Right click. Add new table. I said ID, username. Okay, ID. It's an int. Username. I'm going to use varchar. Okay. Password hash. Password hash is varchar. Salt is a secret value. It's a varchar I'm going to use also. First name, varchar. Last name, varchar also. Okay. What else? Phone and photo. Phone I'm gonna utilize int. No, I'm gonna utilize varchar because it's international representation. And photo. So we're going to specify the path for the photo here. Photo varchar. Okay, great. It's enough. So I'm going to say the table is user. Clear. I made a mistake. I typed the S in capital, but it's okay. The user is there. No worries. So close. Second entity, customer. Right click. Add new table. What's the field ID, user ID, forward table. ID, int also, user ID, it's an int also. What else? Forward table, date last visit. What shall I say? That's okay. Last visit, date last visit, date last visit. As usual, I'm going to use only the varchar to avoid the syntax of writing the date. So varchar, it's okay. It will cover all. Save. Here it's customer. Customer. Great. Done. Class, it's there. Third entity, which is a cook. Add new table. Let's see the attributes. ID, user ID, has had, cuisine, chef school attendant. Let's start. ID, it's an int. User ID, it's an int also. Has had. You actually specify the level, the rank of the cook. Has had. What else? Cuisine. Let's say varchar. Cuisine here we mean by that the specialty. Varchar. Okay.
Yes, it is clear.
Chef school attended. Okay. Chef school attended means whether he got this rank by experience or by studying. But great. I'm gonna say it's cook. Done. Saved. Let's close. Continue. populate all entities here, no entities with one record each. Let's do so. Start with the user, right click, show table data. ID 1, username Murad, password 123456, so password hash, sorry. Salt 123, first name Murad, last name Omar, phone 95959595, or anything. Path C, I'm going to say :/ picture or pictures. Okay, this is string, no more than enter. Khalas, has been saved. Close. Second, let's say customer. Okay, ID is one. User ID, we have only one. Favorite table, I want to say Omani dishes. Date last visit, let's say 10. Oh, what is the date today? 8th 11th 2020. Enter, saved, close. Third and last. Number one, user ID, we have only one. Has had, let's say, yes. Cuisine, let's say French. Yeah. And yes, I want to say yes. Good, great. Enter, has been saved. Okay, I'm gonna, nothing, just close. Next step. Task 2. So task number 1 has been fulfilled. We are going to utilize this design later on. So task number 2, we are required to implement a basic application via which we draw the use of the single value binding by displaying simple count of students who attended the class. There are student count here, a number of students attended the class today. So we are going to utilize the single binding in this context. And later on I'm going to show you how to use the multi-value or multiple values based binding. Let's do. We start by designing. We start the implementation by the design. I'm going to use the same project where we design the database now. I'm not going to create a new project. So the application I'm going to do here, I'm going to implement, is in the same location where we implemented this database. Means I'm going to do a second part. So to do so, I'm going to create a new interface. So add the new item. It's work form. Work form. Here it is. I'm going to change the name to home.spx. Any name, but user defined. Yeah, swap to design. It would come, yeah, great. Here it is. So to do so, I'm gonna be inserting labels and text boxes and buttons in order to have something actually that I can utilize later on. I'm gonna respect the same view here. So I'm gonna insert a label and a label here, this one. And later on, we are going to specify the text in order to display the variable where to do the single binding. So the first one, actually, I'm going to give the title to our where is the title. So here inside, I'm going to insert the label. Good. I'll stop here. Then after we come to continue this. Now actually, I can just per my wish. Let's say here the color, this one, let it be this way. Okay. Then after the justification, actually, in the center. Good, great. This one I'm going to take it, cut, paste. Great. So this label now, I'm going to swap to the split view from here. Once I click once on it, it would come to me here highlighted. I'm going to exactly do the modifications to insert the text like it is mentioned to us here. See if you can see here, just let me maximize the view. We have a single value expression less than percentage hash STD count, which is actually, if I go a little bit down, it is the one used here in this backend code file. STD count is the same variable. So this would display the number of the attendant students. I'm going to just type the text like it is, respecting the expression here, student count, and the expression shown the browser type. Two expressions we have inside the phrase. Where to write this phrase? In between the opening label tag and the closing label tag. In between here, we have this text including the expression. 1, 2 expressions included. Let's do that. So here in between the opening and closing label tags, I'm going to type the text I need. There are less than percentage hash. I'm going to write the same name, count, close the expression. Less than, actually automatically it has been written to me, that's great, So continue, I'm going to say attendant the class today. Dot. New line, I see that you are using that you are using Chrome. That's it, actually, whatever. The browser immediately expression without any other specifications. So expression hint hash request dot. Here, actually, the options they are coming to me. Browser, select it. Again, browser. Here it is. Select it. Very easy. That's it. At the end, I'm going to add a dot just to terminate the phrase. No more, no less. This STD count, we are going to specify in the backend file. But this one, no, because it's predefined attribute. It would read to us the browser we are using. So let's save this file and let's dig into the backend file to generate our data source, link our data source, and activate the data source. Link means set. Good. What I'm going to do, actually, I need a thing to be in a page load event. In any empty place, double click. I have to start the, yes, here it is. The event is page load. In between here, I'm going to do whatever I want. The variable we had is STD count. I'm going to copy it to respect the syntax in order not to make any errors. This STD count, it would be actually receiving the value I need, which is actually, for example, 18 students, as per example here, for a lecture here now. the SED count, it has to be declared. Here actually we are initializing. We are going to declare as a public variable before the load. Here we're going to set it a publicly, let's say scene variable. I'm going to say as integer. That's it, it's enough. So the integer is an, I have to respect the syntax. Let me check. I forgot that I'm in C#. Good. Full stop. Good. So SED count, initialization, declaration as initialization. So we specified the data source statically. Actually, we are not going to say a label receive the SED count. No, we are just going to bind to activate this say public global variable. So we need to make the call of the data bind. It's a method. We'll stop actually. What I'm going to do actually is to specify the bin for all. So I'm going to just specify this dot data bin full stop. It's enough without any other details. I'm gonna save this page, and from here I'm gonna start to see the preview just to start. So everything is set so far, and the browser start. Loaded. Yes. What is that? There are 18 attendant. I have to change. The 18 from where? It's from what we initialized. I see that you are using Chrome. Because the browser has been validated, and SED count, it is displaying 18 to us. So it works very fine. Let's come back. Okay. Okay. We saw that it is displaying to us an extra word. See here. Label 1. From where it came, this one? We don't need it. I typed only. There are SED count. Label 1 it did not type. Why? Because it is already here specified in the text. I'm going to delete the full text property. This one select. Delete. That's it. I do not need. Save. Then again. View in browser. Okay, there are 18 attendance, whatever. Great, it works very fine. Let's continue the design. Let's see what the task is asking us to do. Yeah, great. For now, this task number 2 has been fulfilled. For now, this task has been greatly fulfilled. Just before we pass to the task number 3, here at the same level, I'm gonna show you a solution how to use the multi-value binding using a static value locally saved in the cache of the browser. So the same way we explained the theory this morning. So what I'm going to do, so to do so, actually this label here, it helps us only to bind to a single value only. We cannot display multi-values in here. So I'm going to insert a new control for the purpose of the explanation only. The control I'm going to use is the list view, for example, or list box. Let me find. Yeah, this box is okay.
list box, because it can has a list of indexed values. Double click, and here it is. Here it is. So, what is the name? Let me check the name of this and the ID of this list box. The ID is list box 1. List box 1. So list box 1. So to remember the name only. Okay, I'll come back to the page load. So I'm going to define a resource. So I'm going to say array list, something like let's say array. I'm going to say AR equals the new array. Okay, great. Semicolon. What I'm going to say, I'm going to add AR, the same variable we declared here. I'm going to add to it values. I seem to be missing something. AR dot. Let me check my syntax first of all. Let me remember my list array. Yeah, I come to you now. That's it. I'll come back to the context of the building here. I'll do the add, and I give the whatever the value I'm going to say. For example, the list will be the names. So I'm going to say Ali. Then after second name, I'm going to say Khalid, whatever. And so on. I'm going to add whatever I want. I'll come to this add later on because I have to change this data type here. Just let me save it at this level. I'll put it as a comment. Come on. And I come to it in a while.
So let's move to task number 3, and I come back to this one also to get time on. So we are going to utilize a single value we defined earlier to generate sessions. So the single value generated to generate sessions for the user ID, for the customer ID, for the cook ID. So we are going to specify user ID used in a session, and the session would have its value from a single source, single value binder. The same way, we are going to generate a session for the customer ID using a single value. The same way, we are going to specify a cooker ID session from a single value. Let's do that. Then after we see the display later. So I'll start by making a design. So to respect this output here. So this is the backend code. Let's start by designing a text box for each of the candidates. The user ID, the customer ID, the cook ID. And then after we'll talk where to put the session. Here it is actually mentioned, as you can see, it's inside the button. It's a button. There's a button that we are going to specify the session here. Let's do. So inside the interface here, I'll put everything after the single value bin here. So in here, let's say here, I'm going to write straightforward user ID space little bit, insert text box. Wait, yes, good. New line, customer ID space, also a text box. Great. New line, cook ID space, and a text box. So, halas, we have 3 places where to specify the IDs for each. Okay. To do so, we need an expression. Since we are going to use a single value, as per the request here, we have to use a single value to bind the ID of each entity. What are the entities? The cook, the customer, and the user. So each of them, we have to give an ID to initialize the ID using a single value, a single value binder. To do so, we have to have an expression for each. Start with this one. Here inside the usually in the split view, click this one first, the user ID. Click it once, only one time. So when you click it, it will come to you highlighted here on top section. Here, before it gets closed, I'm going to add a text property. See exactly, respect the place where I typed. It appeared. I selected equal. I'm going to set a single value indicator expression. I'm going to say user ID, no space. I'm going to do the same thing for the customer ID. So in text box, in face of the customer ID, click once, and here it is highlighted. Before the first tag, the opening tag gets closed, space, and text property. Here it came. So I'm going to select it. Equal. The expression, the single value expression, hash. I'm going to name it customer ID. No space also. The same for the third. So here, space. The property is text. So it is selected. Equal. Expression for the single value. Sorry, expression for the single value. Yes. Then I'm going to say cook ID. User defined. User defined. User defined. So I'm arbitrarily using those names. Later on, I have to respect them. No more, no less. So I'm going to save. I'm going to save this file. What I did. Save it. خلاص. There is no error at all. There is no error at all. Let's go to the back end and the file, and let's implement the values for each. Let's user ID. We have only one. Custom ID. We have only one. Cook ID. We have only one. We are going to use static values for now because we are not using the addo.net. We are going to use static values. Let's come back to the code behind file. I'm going to declare new variables, which are public also. Int space. The first one, user ID. Copy. Paste. The second one, also it's public int. I'm going to copy in order to avoid any mistake. Any typos. The third and last, it's a public int also. Copy paste to avoid typos. Great. Set. I declared them. Good. I save the file. Now I'm going to initialize them. See here. Where I'm type. See the place exactly. Before the binding. Before the binding. The user ID. First of all. Here it came. Selected. Equal. I'm going to say 1. Then the customer ID. Here it came. Selected. Also equal to 1 because we have only one customer at the table inside. The third and last, cook ID. Here it is, select also 1. Okay, finished. So 1. I'm given the values. The binding, I use this. Remember in theory you said that this always comes after the same scope would be actually validated. So I will not type another bind again. No, it's the same. Just save here. Let's test. But to test what? We did not specify here anything. We said that the text would receive those values. So nothing. Just we'll test immediately and we'll see the result. One. Who wrote that? They are by themselves. So actually, the single value has been binded actually to those text boxes, and the work has been successfully set. This is the first. This is second, third, fourth, and fifth. We have 5 binding expressions. They are based on the single value mode, and they are working very fine. Okay. Just wait for me for a second. I'll share Visual Studio. Make the thing actually work more easy. Just
Okay. Before I pass to task number 3, actually, let me just let's pass to task number 3, and then after give you the chance for interactions. We are at task number 3 already. So I'm going to use the IDs we specified for the 3 entities to generate a display. So whatever we have as ID specified by this session. No, still actually we did not set the session. I forgot. We are required to set the session, not only to display the single value. So display the single value and set a session. So to do so, I'll come back to the design. Yes. So it's not only to set an initial value, the source, the single binding methodology set a value for each ID, but also to create a session for each. I'm going to insert a button to make it an event handler. It's not. I'm not going to utilize the same page load. I'm going to generate a second event handler. Insert the value button. I'm going to change the property of this button to be sessions. Okay. Okay. Double click on this one, and inside of it, as an event handler, I'm going to specify the sessions for the user session. So I'm going to say user ID would receives what? Text box 1 dot text is the one. I'm going to say text box 1. Come on. Text box 1 dot text. Okay, great. Semicolon. The session for the customer ID. Session for the customer ID. Let's set customer ID would receives text box 2 dot text. Great. The session for the last and the cook. Okay. Let's say cook ID. Yes, you will receive what? Text box 3, because they are ordered 100%. So text box 3 dot text semicolon. Great. Save. I saved already. Control S. Here I'm going to save also. If I'm going to test, one. If I press the sessions, nothing happens. It loads the page again, but nothing happens because it is just initialization. We just did the initialization of the sessions. Nothing happens to us, but already khalas, the sessions has been initialized to those values. Let's come back to our window. And we are going to utilize the values set here and given to the sessions, display what the request actually is asking us to do, to display
to display the list of users, list of customers, list of cooks, based on the use of those sessions. Let's finish up. So, inside the same button, I'm gonna create a new page to display the list of users and the list of customers and the list of cook. I'm going to create a new page to make it more coherent. So new page here, web form. I'm going to create display.aspx. Okay, design view. First of all, immediately I'm going to drag and drop the users. Okay. Let it come first. Let it display. Yes. Okay. Enable all the features and change the format if you want. It's up to you. Good. So I have the type. The data source. What is it? It is a list of users. Yes. But I need the user to be the users to be displayed only the ones specified in the session. So I'm going to configure the source. We have only one. Data source. So next, the table is the user table, all the fields. Wait, so here we're going to set a workload, and the workload is actually on the user ID, the ID that has to be equal to a session. The session name is user ID. We specified that already. The same word, user, the same spelling. Add it. Here it is. Just confirm that. Next, test the query. Yes, it is set to us. Just say yes. It will display the fields. Yes, they are. It works very fine. Finish. I'm going to save and test. Remember that we have to initialize the session first. So not from this page to test, but from this page. And this page, if we test, we have to activate this button to open the next page, which is the display page. Here, if I click, it will initialize the session, yes, but we are still here, the same page. You know, the result has to be happening in the display page. So it initializes the session and moves us to the next page. How to? So double click. The sessions, they are here. After, not before. I insist. Response or redirect. Response dot redirect to move to the next page. What is the next page? It's the same spelling here. So in between double quotations, I type the same name, display dot ASPX. And at the end, semicolon. That's it. Save. Now let's test from here. View in browser. Yes, automatically set. Sessions. It is loaded. It will move us from home to yes, display, and we have values now. We have values. It works very fine. Wonderful. Let's do that for the customer and cook. Let's come back. So go to display page. Down. New space. I'm going to drag and drop the customer table here. Do the format and display the functionalities, or activate the functionalities. Sorry, we have only the data source. Next, all the fields, yes. Workloads. We are going to test the ID, not the user ID, the ID of the table using the customer ID. That has to be equal to a session, which is customer ID. Exactly how we wrote it in the page, in the session button. Customer ID. Add. Here it is. Tell OK. Next, that's the query. The fields, they are OK for each value. Yes. Finish. I'm gonna check the format also to make it. I'm gonna use the yes, color is okay. Different from the first one. Save. Very quick test. Not the display page again. We cannot display the thing from here. Close. We test from the home page. So from here. Sorry. View in browser. Yeah, the values they are set. Sessions. There are no data records to display. Seems to be we are missing the value, but even though it works very fine. So if there is a value, it would be actually displayed. But it seems to be the session we initialized. It's not having any value for now. Okay, let's move to the next entity and we fix this. Don't worry. Come back. Where to? Yes, display. I'm gonna go a little bit down. Okay, here I'm gonna insert. I'm gonna drag and drop the third entity, which is the cook. Activate the functionalities. Configure the data source. All the fields. Workloads. We are tackling the ID. It has to be equal to the session. The session exactly like we initialized it. We declared it. Sorry. Add it. Here it is. Confirm. Next, test the query for validity. It has to show the fields. Finish. Yeah, everything is working fine. Great. Change the format also for. Yes, great. For distinction points only. Distinction purposes only. Let me check again the sessions we initialized. We have customer. No, see, I made a mistake. It's customer typo. Customer only. I changed the name. Customer ID. Cook ID. Save now. Let me come back and test again now. Not showing anything here. Oh, this application is currently offline. I have to do something actually. I'm gonna exit the server. Yeah, now I'm gonna start it again. Yes, it works very fine. Values are set. Sessions. Yes. First one. Customer. Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. This way, actually, we are able to do an initialization of sessions using single value binding methodology. The values actually they are statically set, and we also before that we did the initialization of let's say variables and expressions. They are actually having the values from initialized value. I'm talking about the student count and the browser. I believe that you clearly understand how this context of binding works now. When we discussed this morning the theory that the binding has to work based on 3 steps, you have to specify the data source. Then after the data source, you have to link the data source into the control. After that, you have to make the binding actually based on the call of the data bind method. Yeah, I'm going to just show you now, just for learning purposes only, the multi-value binding. So if I come back, this one is empty. We inserted it, but we did not initialize, we did not use the value because it's a list box. We have to use multi-value binder for it. So let's do that. Let me come back to the what we specified as. Well, here it is. It is here in the home only. So I come back to what we specified as command. Here it's not an array. I'm going to use an array list. An array list. Yeah, great. And it has to be actually an array list object. Yeah. So this way actually, I'm not understanding the error. The namespace name array list could not be found. I'll come back to that. Not working. Using system dot collections. Yeah, great. Yes, wonderful. Khalas, it works very fine now. There is no error. I added this library, and it works very fine. It works very fine. So I'm going to add other names. dot add. Yes, it's available now. I'm going to say, for example, Fatma. Yes. Dot add. I'm going to say Mustafa. Dot add. As many values as we need. Let's say Muhammad. Okay. Now, how many values do you have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to do any other binding. Just I'll move the order. This bind here, I'm going to bring it here. See what I put at the end. I save. I come back. I test. I have to specify that. Let me do the binder actually manually. The binder I have to do it manually. I have to specify that the let me come here. So the name of the control, list box one. Here before the bind, list box one. But let's say data source, the property data source. Here it is. Choose it. Equals AR. Full stop. That's it. The data source for the list box is the AR, what we specified here. The event handler, page load. This would link it, would activate the binder. save only. So you have to specify the data source. Come back, refresh, not refresh, but test. Yes, Ali, Khalid, Fatma, Mustafa, Muhammad. How many values we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are the 5 available here. Did I make anything? No, they are binded. These are multi-value binded from a local source. Thank you very much for this presentation. Actually, I believe that you understand now clearly what is the context of the data binding. I'll take the attendance now and I'll submit you the video right after.